So welcome to the Forge Coffee Break. This is the episode 16, and we've been running this for every 2 weeks for some time now. Glad to have you here. This is open space for any Forge topics, discussions, just like we have on our office kitchen, right? Coffee break stop, coffee break chat. And today, actually, I have one very special guest. Mikako is here to help us with some of the very interesting BIM 360 ACC topics. But there is also any other topic that you want to bring up. And let me start with that. I know that this week we are holding the World's Rally. I hope I'm saying this right. The accelerator.
Valtesprare.
Uh, come on, correct me. Okay, go. What's the name again?
I think the Spirale.
Spirale.
I'm not German either.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a very interesting. I think the architecture of the building is quite unique. So I think the name should be unique too, right? And yeah, so we're having the accelerator this week, and I think we have some people here from the accelerator. Do we have anyone from the accelerator? I think. Oh, Toge. Anyone else? Say hi.
Media.
Raja is here that I can see from the accelerator Hector as well.
All right, so welcome, and yeah, hope you enjoy it. And okay, let me go to you. If you have any suggestions, any topics that you like to bring up. Usually there is a lot of good questions from you.
Um, this is Mani speaking, Reconstruct. Yes, there are a few topics that I would like to suggest discussing. One of them is various ways by which issue management can be brought into Forge. I know some of the capabilities are directly being brought from BIM 360, but my interest is mostly on BCF file formats. I understand there are two different ways of documenting issues, sort of the way we do it via location in BIM 360 docs, and the other one is whatever happens to BIM 360 field. That first an issue is created with or without the location. So I would like to see if you have any recommendations on how that sort of data schema can be selected when a Forge application is being created. In the documentation, I didn't see too much on BCF. So I want to see if there's a consolidated way by which various types of issues can all be stored in BCF XML. So that's the first topic I wanted to suggest. The second topic is on SVF2, and it's specifically cases where we have federated models from multiple sources. Some of these models work fine in the context of BIM 360, which I assume they actually do store and visualize everything in SVF2 format. But when you bring it into the Forge application, for whatever reason, some of the models are translated into different locations, or the scale changes after conversion into SVF2. So these are my suggested topics.
Cool, interesting topics. BIM 360 issues. Let me bring up Mikako. What you?
Yeah, it's so BCF and things like that. We don't have a clean suggestions as of today, and I probably need to switch or the focus to the answer a little bit. So we just announced this Autodesk build, right? So we are going to have a new the set of issues APIs, and we are actually hoping to have a little bit more flexibility over. It's still common. It's still common with current the like a model the BIM collaborate based one, and then also BIM one. And what happening here is that I know I think some of you know. So issue is everywhere, And the ideally we want to use the same or similar, almost same content in a backend, just like we are using data management and viewer model coordinate, the model derivative in a backend, and then each team, so the crash team uses issues, and as you pointed out, some issues are connected with drawing with a push pin and things like that. So we are still kind of go in a learning mode how to do this. So that's why issue was a little bit slower, releasing an up-to-date latest API that Autodesk is using in a product versus an API. So I personally, in a way, I'm actually hoping that the engineering team called V2 version of an issue will have more flexibility. And at that time, you'll have a little more, again, other third party flexibility. That's what I'm kind of hoping. But I don't know yet when it's coming. The product team has been quite busy, especially build team is very busy with the product, as you can easily imagine. And BIM 360 was already a collection of acquired product, and again we have this another powerful plan grid came in, and it's actually more complicated than writing from scratch. No? You probably know, as a developer. So I'm hoping once, in a way, this initial release that's settled, we want to have at least that starting from API which exists in BIM 360 will be, made available in, just like a, new product, in a newer shape, in a new one. So again, I don't think I have better suggestions for this, what you are exactly asking, but that's what I can tell as of today. Yeah. And then second one is, sorry.
Thank you, Mikako. Just as a reference, is there any sort of example on that sort of BCF API anywhere on Forge GitHub?
No, I don't think we have any samples in that section. Yeah,
BCF.
but it's always good to hear voices, because our team actually, remember when I hear these voices. And so what you are telling us, all of this, right now we are kind of very slim. We hear every, once in a while. But when we hear, we'll pay more attention, and when we have a discussion, we'll bring it up. So as of today, nothing we can help, but we'll pay attention and then keep asking us. And then SBF, I will put give back to Augusto. But one thing about this, before I ask more people who knows more. So model coordination team is currently working on alignment APIs. And as you can easily imagine that the Navisworks side, model coordination is kind of like Navisworks, right? So it uses a lot of the different file format on top of same, the files in Navisworks. And it's very important to have this alignment aligned, instead of having everything in different places, you have to align. So this feature is coming. And then API, their team is API first. They are try to release the alignment API. We just started to discussing about reviewing this API. So my hope is this API will help some way. We have the alignment extension, I think, in a viewer side. That's actually related. Now we had to have a place to remember those alignment in somewhere in BIM 360. And then name bespoke like feature, which model coordination has, is actually makes sense to reuse, right? So there will be some enhancement that, but it will probably take at least for a month or so before we can talk in detail. I may talk next week a little bit, but yeah, so something to keep eyes on in that respect.
Thank you, Mikako. So I just want to clarify one thing. So we've played around with this concept of shared coordinate system versus internal coordinate system. from files that come from Navisworks. But our impression right now is that the model derivative API that is public access for SVF2 does a different type of conversion compared to the one that is being used for Beam 360. We tried the same model in Beam 360. The model was in the right scale and location across various models that were being, federated. But in the case of Forge, a few of the models were displaced against the rest of them. So if you feel like maybe there's a discrepancy between the versions of the APIs, or could be a few project-specific models that we've tested on.
Actually, that's actually a very interesting thing to hear. That one, I wasn't paying attention to that part. August, do you know? Have you heard about this? So you are saying it's different from SVF and SVF2 then, right?
So yes, SVF works fine in Forge. SVF2 does not work fine. SVF2, which is a basis of Beam 360 Viewer, that process works fine. But for whatever reason, when we pass it to Forge Model Derivative API and get SVF2, that doesn't look correct.
I see.
Have you confirmed that the BIM 360 experience is really using SVF2?
Kevin, thank you for that question. No, that was just, we felt like you are already using SVF2 in Beam 360. So that was the assumption I made.
Yeah, Mikako and Augusto, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last time we heard that there's still kind of project dependent decisions made about whether they're using SVF or SVF2. So the results you're seeing in BIM 360 may be, and in fact, the same results that you're seeing in model derivative with SVF.
Got it.
So there's a chance that what you're seeing as an error in SVF2 in model derivative is just a problem with the translator. So we may need to report that.
I'll be happy to follow up with you, Kevin, and I'll be happy to share the files that we've been testing on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mani, have you reported that to us before?
I think our software development team has. Yes, I believe they have already filed, but I'll check just to make sure. Then dedicate myself.
Yeah, if you have a ticket number, that would be helpful too to send over to me, and then I can just look into it and make sure we're not doing double duty on it.
Good, thank you.
So it's usually that's I think that's valid for everyone here, right? Whenever you see something that is not working well, report as soon as you can. And if you have steps to reproduce, sample files, anything that you can provide us to help understand the problem, we can definitely investigate and see what's going on, right? We try to follow up all of those reports to make sure that we address and fix them in the future.
May I ask something about, speaking about viewers and some issues in the viewers? On last accelerator in Atlantis, that is not last for me, not for you, that I was attended. Peter Bros mentioned about versions for the 3.js, that Web 3D plugin or extension for the JavaScript. So I tried to use it, but not from the Forge examples on Learn Forge. I just took it from the 3.js, and I don't see the cube in the top. And also there is also some problem with rotation, 3D rotation. Is that something connected with the versions of
So when
3.js or something else?
You say you are using a different version of 3.js?
The latest one I used.
Oh, okay. So the viewer today is locked with version 71, right? So meaning that you can only use that version. And the reason is we have a slightly modified version of that optimized to our workflows. So okay, that said, Petra is investigating, can we support some of the other features, some of the new features of newer versions of 3.js. So he's doing some experiments there. So I suspect that he may have sent you some of those experiments, right? Which is not production, it's just an experiment. And I don't think he's here today. Otherwise, I'll call him. But I'll suggest you definitely check with him to see what was the experiment and how he was working with, and what else he can do there. But as a production from Autodesk, as a production offering, is the Viewer 7.38 right now, works with 3JS 71. I think that's the
71.
number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will change the version in that case.
Yes.
Okay, thank
And
you very
don't,
much.
just one thing, right? You don't have to include 3JS. It's included by default with the viewer. Right? So you just have to include the viewer viewer3d.js file on your application. 3JS is already there.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
I think too, with the viewer, if you don't have a model to initialize it, there are some issues with the UI, right? So you might not have the view cube, that sort of thing, unless you get it to view a model like an SVF.
Yeah, nothing will show until you open SVF or F2D, right? Because SVF is for 3D models and F2D for 2D models.
2D models, yes.
So yeah. So until you open something, there is no UI on it. It's just
Yes, I first using client side for the make a sketch 2D drawing sketch, and after that that sketch make a JSON file from that, send to design automation on the Forge, and after that I am receiving the model. So first I'm starting on the blank screen, or how to say it, screen, yes. And after that, when I using that like AutoCAD 2D sketch, and after that I'm downloading the model.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, 3JS is already there. You have to load the model, and if you're having a different result, yeah, please reach us. I think we mentioned this before, but there is a way for you to get a time with us. Let me share my screen again and share here. So if you are not aware, and I believe you are, but let me double check. Just go to the Forge website, and now you go to community, all events, and that's the coffee break we're doing right now. And you can schedule one-on-one time with the team. So just click here, and that should open the Calendly with everyone on the team with their expertise and time zone. So let's say if you want someone in Europe, GMT +1, Petr is already here, for instance, right? So click on his name, or by the end of the month now, right? So just select one of those times that he's available, select and book a time, right? So this is showing Pacific time zone for me, so that's midnight, but maybe in Europe should be easier for you.
Okay, yes. That was like a Dr. Izin, yes?
Yes,
application.
That's the same. That's the same, but now it's appearing right here at the main events webpage.
Excellent.
And
So Augusto, Tolga is asking if you can share the link in the chat.
yes, of course. Let me come back here and grab the whole thing. Awesome.
And I think before that, Vijaya had a question as well in the chat. It's about facing issues with the viewer and BIM 360.
Would you like
Vijay,
to open your microphone?
You're welcome to,
Hello, this first time I'm just trying to explore Forge. So I was facing a lot of issues. Like I was trying to go through the tutorials and many things I was doing from past 2 days, but I was not really knowing how to, overcome that issue.
What are the issues?
I was not able to, install the viewer.
Okay, so are you trying to learn Forge material?
I'm learning Forge material also, but I'm stuck somewhere, sometimes it'll be good if somebody can really help us out to overcome these issues.
Can
We are
you
using
share
BIM
your screen?
360. Now you want me to share my screen?
I don't know. Can we do that, Augusto? Just to quickly take a look at
I
it?
think Yeah, it's just for the sake of time, because this
Okay.
is very short. So, Vijay,
Yeah.
what I would suggest you
Yeah.
is to book a time on that 101 that I mentioned, right?
Yes,
You
I'll
can
do
select
that.
someone on very close to your time zone and just book 30 minutes, and we can go through your code and see what's going on, right?
Fine,
That's
I'll
that's the
do
best
that.
way. Jaime mentioned tutorial, so I
I
just want to
have
make sure
just
that
one
we are on the
more
same page.
doubt also.
Yeah,
Um,
so just a sec. Jaime
yeah,
mentioned tutorial. Just want to make
yeah.
sure that this is the one you're using, learnforge.autodesk.io.
Uh,
And if not, that's what I would suggest you to do.
yeah,
And
the same thing what you're showing right now. But sometimes, I'm not an expert in software. Basically, my background is architecture.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, great. I mean,
but
you have all the expertise in the area. So yeah, just get a time with us. We can definitely
fine,
review your code and see what's wrong. You
fine.
said I have another
Appreciate your
question, right?
support. Yeah, but how are
My background is architecture too. So
is it?
working for
Wow,
Autodesk.
nice.
And I'm a civil engineer, so we're at home. Don't worry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Said you have
Is
something
it
else.
possible? I know it's possible, but the 4D, is it possible for us to get the cost analysis and the analytical graphs, everything simulate like simulation in Forge?
What kind of simulation? Cost
Like,
simulation?
yeah, we do the complete modeling and everything in Rivet in BIM 360.
Mm-hmm.
So by giving the parameters and the necessary information in the models, so can we get a cost analysis sort of thing in Forge?
Yeah. So with Forge, you can extract the data,
Hmm.
but when it comes to the cost itself, it's about analyzing that data, right? So
Hmm.
what you're probably looking for a partner that already have some implementation on that. So what I would suggest you, if you're looking for a specific solution on how to do cost, you can go to the integrations.bim360.autodesk.com, and here on
Okay.
the left, you select financial and budget planning, and those are partners or software developers, right? That implemented solutions on how to do cost, and they have solutions already. And if you want to use something out of the box, right? So they are using Forge to connect to BIM 360 or to just extract cost information from the modules, and those are a place to start. Ready to use solution, not to develop, but to use something already there.
Okay.
If you want to develop something yourself, that will be the tutorial, will be a starting point. So if you go to the tutorial and go to dashboard, this is the foundation for something like a cost estimation where you extract quantities out of the module.
Yeah, something
But the
similar to
tutorial,
this, what I was saying.
yes. So that's a very basic sample tutorial, and later on you can move to a professional solution like the ones I mentioned here from partners, or develop your own.
Yeah, okay, that sounds interesting.
Thank you. I think there was a question from Toge, but it's very specific to one of the samples, right, Toge? Yeah.
I'm actually trying it right now, Augusto,
Mm-hmm.
on my Mac. Never used Forge on the Mac, so I'm not sure. It's just that the Autodesk library is not being found somehow. But I repeated all the steps you explained on your GitHub repo.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'd have to take that offline. So you are talking about this sample? Sorry, this step by step, right?
Yes.
I think my best suggestion is to make sure that you are on the proper folder, right? So before running the .NET add package, you have to be on the folder where the CS project is before adding the reference. Otherwise, it will not work. So go to that folder where the CS proj file is, and then run this. Cool. Yeah, interesting. If not, we can definitely catch up after. As I have you here, there is something very important coming up, and there is a maintenance coming up in March. So for a few hours over 3 weekends in March, we are having a maintenance on our systems, and it's likely that your applications and APIs will not work during that maintenance window. So there is all the times here if you wanna take a look. So yeah, it's very late Pacific time, but if you are in Europe, that can be a bit different. So applications will, most of the Forge applications will be offline because of the way we're doing this maintenance on our system. It's important to point this out. It's a very important one. All right. Thank you for the questions. Any other topics?
I think this platform looks very good. It's first time I just saw the thing in LinkedIn. I just thought I will give it a try, but looks very interesting. And maybe a little bit of training also, if you could add, like for newcomers or new people who are entering into the Forge, it would really help us, to overcome our learning curves.
Yeah, the tutorial is a very good place to start, and we are planning a training bootcamp, online training in April. So stay tuned to our blog, and we're going to announce how to apply for the training in April. So yeah, more information coming soon.
Okay, fine, perfect.
So we took almost all of the 30 minutes of today, and thank you very much for attending today. And it was a very interesting session and a lot of good questions.
I see one last question actually.
Oh, there was one more.
Yeah. Osama, you wanna unmute and then ask the question? Oh, he wrote it.
I have a small question as well. Maybe can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I know I saw that in the Learn Forge, I'm also trying to learn it. There are a few things related to jQuery and certain stuff like that, which is nice. But I wanted to know if there is also some kind of a tutorial where I could implement React or connect it with the Forge and things like that. Is there a tutorial in the Forge, Learn Forge?
So I think I misunderstood what was the question at the end.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, no, I think I just didn't get the question. Sorry.
Okay.
You're saying about the tutorial, you want to use it?
Yeah. So in the Learn Forge, the website where you mentioned, there was a tutorial about the viewer, the UI, docking panel, and so on. So, and on the left side, there's a tree which shows the BIM 360 and all the files required. In similar way, is there a tutorial where it shows the React connected with the Forge, so I can create the front interface, user interface, not just a user tree, but something similar to that.
Yeah. So we have, if you go to the github.com/Autodesk Forge, you can find a React boilerplate that should be not exactly the same, but very close and adapted to React. So that's what we're looking for. So look for React boilerplate.
React boilerplate. Okay, I'll take a look at it. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so saying that these 30 minutes today ran very, very fast. And we are definitely running this coffee break every other week. So the next session will be March 10. And you can use the same link, same registration. Just join again, same time in 2 weeks. And thank you very much for attending today. Excellent questions, excellent discussion, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meet you next
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.